Good morning and welcome back to our podcast conversation entitled Seasons, where this week we have been in conversation about the season of waiting. Yesterday, as we peered into what the season of waiting can teach us, we learned three things that we can actually learn about life as we are waiting. And just knowing that the season of waiting has something to teach us can give us the perseverance, you might say, to endure the waiting itself. Today, I want to remind us that every season has something to accomplish in us. Every season has something to help us in maturity that's going to prepare us for the other seasons, and that's certainly true with the season of waiting. And the season of waiting can teach us how to receive rather than to grasp. And it's knowing that it's actually maturing in our capacity to receive rather than grasp or be self-sufficient that will help us in the season of waiting, but it's also going to help us in the other seasons of life. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a parent. Let's say we have a father, and that father has a tray full of cookies, chocolate chip cookies. And that father, knowing his son, wants to give his son all those cookies. He's been a good son. It's a good day, and he's in a good mood, and he wants to give his son all those cookies. The son is hungry and he sees all those cookies and he wants those cookies. And because he doesn't trust that his father's going to give him all those cookies, let's say he begins to try to jump up and grab maybe just one of those cookies. Instead of trusting that the parent, the dad, wants to give him everything, the son is grasping and just trying to get whatever he can. Same is true in life. We have a God who is actively involved in your life. And I know that that's going to be hard to see sometimes when you're waiting. But sometimes it's our intellect and our memory that we need to hold on to when our feelings, especially in a season of waiting, might deceive us and tempt us to believe that God's not as actively involved. But God's there. Not only is God there, but God wants to be actively involved in our life, and He wants to bless us. That is a fundamental truth of who God is. God wants to bless us. God wants us to trust Him. God longs for us to not only trust Him, but to trust that He is going to give us all that we need in His time. That doesn't give us permission to be passive and to just to sit back. We have to be actively engaged in cooperating in relationship with God, letting Him lead and guide us. But we believe that God is actively involved in our life. Therefore, it's ours to receive. God wants us to receive from Him. And when we grasp, we actually kind of get in the way. You might say we prevent God from blessing us because we are constantly trying to provide for ourselves, you might say. And if there's one thing that waiting will teach us, is how to wait on God so that we can receive from God. And probably one of the things that is most complicating in a season of waiting is when we start to grasp, try to make things happen on our own. Sometimes that actually only delays the season of waiting because of what God is trying to accomplish in us. So just a word of encouragement for you today that God's active. He's real. He's really involved in your life. He wants to bless you in some powerful ways. And if we allow God to be Himself, we allow God to bless us, then we will be taught how to receive everything from Him. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to find God in the midst of waiting. Some of that's going to be in the receiving. And then on Saturday, of course, we're going to wrap it up and talk about the entire season of waiting. Looking forward to being with you tomorrow. And until we find ourselves in conversation together then, enjoy the wait. Enjoy the Lord with you as you wait, and let Him teach you how to receive. God bless you.